All right, good afternoon, guys. Today is Tuesday, May 6, 2014. Todd will be back tomorrow, so I thought I'd go ahead and just knock out his blog video. And as you recall, last week we looked at NOV and DLPH. Market's pretty much open unchanged. Just quickly look at those. Then I want to look at this. I want to show you this one here on WYNN. Just still testing that first. That right around that first PO. This market's actually holding up better than I thought. I thought, yesterday that I wasn't around, so I didn't get to see what was going on in the markets until I looked this morning. But I thought for sure that we would see further push up on NOV, and it didn't happen yesterday. The market ended up, we got to move up, but it had pulled back on Friday so much. That yesterday when the market rallied, it just still had quite a bit of ways to go. So it just ended up retesting that 50% mark. So in this case, on the 1K a day video, I suggested tighten your stops up in here, and I went over where you'd be looking to tighten your stops up if you were long this. Based on what was going on in the price action. And the same thing with DLPH. Same thing. I went over, looking to the left here to identify that, some major support if this market does decide to pull back, because we've got, look at this. We've actually got lower highs and lower lows on the next day right in here. So lower high and lower low. So far today we're pretty much trading inside the range as the market has pulled back on the E-Mini S&P. So that's good, seeing that. Since we're not getting that move down, since this market's sustaining these levels, while the E-Mini S&P is pulling back. So that's a good sign for continuing to hold on to that long trade in there. Okay. And then one thing I brought up this morning before market opened, or shortly after, by the time the video was actually published, shortly after the market opened, I mentioned WYNN. This popped up on a downtrending scan. The market had pretty much rallied up into resistance in here. If you draw your fibs from high to low, and the market had pretty much rallied up into resistance right between the 50 and 62 the other day, right in here. And yesterday the market and the E-Mini S&P had actually rallied, and WYNN, being that it pulled into resistance and did not rally, and it just kind of consolidated in here, actually got a lower close. Think about this. You've got the market moving higher while a downtrending stock has pulled up into resistance, and it's not moving, it's moving opposite of the market. Okay? It kind of in a direction of, it's trying to resume trend here while the market's moving up. Okay, that is a really good signal, because then typically on the next day, or if the market does, when the market does start to roll over a little bit, you're going to really get that, price move, that dynamic price move in the direction of the higher time frame trend, in the direction of the trend, in that direction. So you're going to get a price move in that direction. So and WYNN did exactly just that. This morning, right before the market opened, we looked at the option prices, and the June $227 puts were trading at 1705 to 1740. Okay, that was earlier this morning. And I mentioned, guys, if this thing moves lower in here, it'd be a good trading opportunity in here. And also you could look at the position in here. Here you got an inside bar once the market takes out this low. So not sure what the price was when this market finally took out the low here, because I was in the trading room. But at the time, the options, when we looked at it, were between 17 and 17 and a half. Okay, 1740 on the ask, 1705 on the bid. Right now they're up at $23, 23 and a quarter to 23.95. in the options price. So and you can see this, they spread it out a little bit too. But in any case, that was pretty much happening after the market had kind of bottomed out. I'll notice the spread started to expand a little bit. But in any case, it was a good trade, and just looking for a little bit more follow through. What you'd be looking for in here. Anybody who's short off that, if you took the trade this morning, after watching that 1K a day video, you'd be looking to exit the trade on a portion of the trade right around 205.5, maybe, or even right around 206. You've got some prior support right around 206, so you can get out maybe 206.5 if you wanted to with a portion of the trade. Market came down at the low of the day. Right now is at 207.69. So if we get any more movement to the downside, it'd be a good trade. So we'll see if tomorrow we trade down through that 50% mark for that first profit target. So that was a really good setup too, with that inside bar there. A couple of things I want to look at real quick this morning on the E-Mini S&P. Again, why I can't stress enough to use those market internals. This morning on the NYSE tick, we had pretty much slightly bearish in here. Look at this. We're trading down into negative numbers this morning. Okay, here's the first. Here's the first half hour. Okay, notice in here within the first half hour, no real conviction. You've got here's your first half hour in the price action. Okay, the market's just kind of consolidating. The NYSE tick, you're not getting really any divergence signals or anything like that. Market's just consolidating in here. So as far as the 30-minute breakout goes, really didn't have that trade this morning. Look at your S&P advanced decline line too, just kind of moving sideways. Okay, the NYSE tick had pretty much opened, down to the bear side. So everything was leaning bearish this morning, and then we got a little pop. We got a little pop up in the E-Mini S&P up in here, and it actually retested these moving averages. Now, what I want to point out right in here, look at this Nasdaq. At the time, the Nasdaq was actually just kind of moving sideways, oscillating between the opening range high and low. And as this E-Mini S&P, this is a normal TC setup right in here on the E-Mini S&P. You've got an inside bar. Okay, even though we've taken out the high, the initial range, opening range, you're still trading below the moving averages, and you got an inside bar. Now, if you want some confirmation to take, it was a beautiful trade this morning, worked out nicely. If you want some extra confirmation to look, and you really want to get a feel, pay attention to those internals. What's going on in the internals at this time? Okay, this is at 10:36. Now let's look at this. Okay. The advanced decline line was actually pushing new highs. Okay, right in there. The S&P advanced decline was pushing new highs. Okay, so things are starting to look possibly, things you're probably thinking, okay, well, things are looking a little bullish here. I mean, look at this. We're pushing higher in here, but remember where you're at. Okay, we've got to get pretty far to get back into kind of slightly bullish territory. We're still trading. We went positive, but we're still actually we never did. We never did go positive. So we maintained below zero this whole time. So remember, minus 0 to minus 200 is on the verge of neutral to bearish. Okay, so we actually never traded above that zero line in the market in the advanced decline line. Nasdaq, okay, while the E-Mini S&P was making new highs here, look what's going on in the Nasdaq. Okay, marginal new highs. Actually, while that market was put in an inside vertical bar, or actually prior to that inside vertical bar, the Nasdaq had put in a blow-off bar. Okay, at these highs, prices are being rejected in here. Okay, and then the E-Mini S&P put in that inside bar. This is a great setup to get short in the E-Mini trading room this morning. We actually got short right in here at was it 73.75, and then rode that down for at least 2 to 2.25 points down to 71.75, 71.5, and then some of the folks in the trading room, they're looking for that longer profit target right around 70.25 or so. So it was a good trade, real good trade this morning, using the Nasdaq, to kind of confirm, what's going on. Because if this Nasdaq would have been pushing higher as this inside vertical bar with the internals moving up, that really would have ended up being a lower probability trade. But here's a situation where using the internals, the Nasdaq, and looking for that trade setup up at resistance and an already established downtrend, just confirm taking that short trade off that inside bar. Okay, just a little discussion on, again, using market internals. I can't stress enough, guys. It really help you in your trading during the day if you get a handle on those. So hope that helps, and Todd will be back tomorrow. So we'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Bye for now.